It's 2 o'clock in the morning on the Ambassador Ambition cruise ship. We're upstairs, up on deck. There's nobody here except me and my sister. Hey, hey, hey. There she is in the background. Woo, hey.
Welcome to our Ambassador Cruise adventure. Join us as we embark on a 3-day cruise aboard the Ambassador Ambition, setting sail from Bristol, England. It was a journey filled with adventure, surprises, and plenty of moments to remember. Day 1. Let the adventure begin. We kicked things off bright and early with a 10 a.m. bus from London Victoria heading to the port of Bristol to board the Ambassador Ambition for our 3-day cruise to Ireland. But, plot twist, an accident on the motorway delayed us. We were supposed to arrive at 1, but we got there at 2:15. Yikes! Luckily, the ship wasn't sailing until 5. No direct bus or train to the port? No problem. We hopped in an Uber. £23 later and a 20-minute ride, we arrived at Portbury. It was not exactly a glamorous cruise terminal. It's a working port. Think metal containers, not luxury lounges. Check-in was smooth and we made a beeline to our cabin. Small but cosy with the bare essentials, except sockets by the bed. This is where the Ambition's showing her age, built before the days of phone chargers and tablets. We grabbed a quick snack, braved the breezy sunshine on deck and tried the pizza, which unfortunately flopped. There was no big sail-away party and we watched the ship slowly crawl out of port. We returned to our cabin to unpack, get changed and headed out for our first activity. We had a lot of fun doing the easy trivia quiz at the Pen Dennis. There was a Disney section. Shout out to my sister Pamela, our Disney expert, who got every question right.
I'm on the Ambassador cruise and of course they had a Disney trivia. And I got the 5 out of 5 at the bottom there. The bottom part was the Disney part. Yay! Yeah, Disney is everywhere, people. Disney is everywhere. I'm enjoying the cruise.
Dinner at 8:15 was a bit awkward. We were assigned a table for 6, but quickly requested a table for 2. I mean, who wants to eat with strangers? No, thank you.
Welcome to the Ambassador cruise. Ambition.
And although most of the food was all right, the service was very, very slow. Our first theatre production of the cruise was in the Palladium Theatre. It was a Nashville-themed show. Not quite country, not quite western. The singing was okay, but the choreography was dated and honestly, kind of sexist. Bit of a miss. Luckily, going to the cavern saved the night. Mashup, the band, was incredible. The dance floor was packed. Then came the disco. And yes, we danced until the last song at 2 a.m. A quick tea run to Deck 11's Borough Market.
Beautiful.
Who knows how it's going to taste?
And finally, lights out at 3 a.m. Day 2, a full day at sea. And what better way to start it than with a lie-in? We skipped breakfast in favour of some much needed sleep. Definitely no regrets. At 11:15, we headed to the Clifton Lounge to watch a quirky little comedy performance called Georgian Fantasy. It was fun, short, and a great way to ease into the day. You have to get there early if you want a seat.
How do you do? I'm Lady Jane Louisa Maria Fortington Smythe, born Tittering a Budge. You must be Lady Anne's daughter.
Lunchtime rolled around and we hit the buffet again. It was exactly the same menu as yesterday. So we had fish and chips, a side salad and a couple of cakes. Out on deck, the entertainment team hosted Deck Fest, a low-key sing-along and some tunes from the cruise singers. It was lovely, but the breeze, brutal. Even the live music from Prima Trio couldn't keep us outside for long. We had to retreat to warmth. Next stop, afternoon tea at the Buckingham Buffet. Now, the sandwiches were dry. The scones were okay, though mine only had one raisin. But the best thing was the shortbread. Fantastic. Mwah! After a little rest in our cabin, we rejoined the fun and took part in another easy trivia quiz. And we crushed it with 120 out of 150 points. Not too shabby. It was formal night, and while some cruisers went full glam, others kept it casual. We landed somewhere in the middle, semi-glam, semi-comfy. Perfect balance. Dinner took place at the Holyrood restaurant tonight. Service? A major upgrade. Much better than yesterday. The food, though, it was a mixed bag. Too much sauce on the prawn cocktail, but the pear and parmesan salad, that was a hit. The lamb shank, returned. Twice. Grey and bland. No thank you. Then the baked Alaska, though. That made a sweet comeback. Tonight's show in the Palladium Theatre was called A Night at the Musicals. It was a mix of singing, dancing, and a lot of talking. A bit too much talking. We just wanted more tunes and less chit-chat. Then came a surprise highlight, the silent disco. I didn't think it was for me, but my sister dragged me up and we ended up dancing and laughing till 2 a.m.
Another fabulous late night on board the Ambassador Ambition. Yes, the Ambition. It's 2:10 in the morning. Yes, so we're going to go and get something nice and hot to drink before going to bed. But yes, another fabulous night on board the Ambition. Here we are in the Borough Market cafe, restaurant, self-serve. It's early in the morning. One more day. See ya. Going to Dublin tomorrow. Bye.
Back in our cabin, we wrapped up the night with a lovely cup of tea and lights out at 3 a.m. Day 3 and land ahoy. We finally made it to Ireland, but first, our very first breakfast on board the Ambition. We hit the buffet at 9:30. Omelette? Delicious. Pancakes? Fluffy. Bacon and sausage? Yes, please. And, a glass of orange juice. What a great start to our day. Next up, the Great Tender Boat Adventure. We had to queue for an hour just to board. Then we spent 25 wobbly minutes crossing the shore. It was a bit of a mission, but definitely worth it. But we wish they had more tender boats. We arrived in Dun Leery and it was a lovely surprise to find out that Dublin was just a 20-minute train ride away and it only cost €5 for a return ticket. In Dublin, we enjoyed a leisurely stroll. We walked to Trinity College and its famous library and we wandered down Grafton Street. We popped into the Disney store for our Disney fan Pamela, of course.
I've come all the way to Dublin. Of course I've got to go to Disney store. Let's go in. Oh, I couldn't make a decision. What would you do if you had to choose? Mickey or Minnie? The choice is yours.
And treated ourselves to some ice cream instead of Guinness. We passed the Irish Whiskey Museum and Dublin Castle, both super picturesque. Then we got back on the train and headed back to the port in Dun Leery at 4:15. We queued again and caught the 5:15 tender boat back to the ship. Dinner at 8:15 featured a vol au vent starter, Chinese-style chicken and chocolate ice cream for dessert. The verdict? Just okay. Not bad, but not amazing. Then came the final show at the Palladium Theatre, Cirque Lumière. It was a magical spin on The Greatest Showman, and honestly, It was fantastic. There was great energy, great vibes, and a great job by the whole production team. We ended the night, no, the entire cruise, with ABBA night in the Cavern nightclub. The dance floor was packed, the crowd was buzzing, and we stayed out until 2 a.m. Back to our cabin, one last cup of tea in hand, and the bittersweet task of packing. Wow, what a trip. Day 4 and we arrived in Liverpool. It was the end of our cruise and time to say goodbye to the Ambassador Ambition. But we weren't ready to rush home just yet. We grabbed our last breakfast in the Buckingham restaurant, and at 11:50 a.m. the loudspeaker made the final call for all guests to leave the ship.
And there we go. No big fanfare to leave. Nope, just get off the cruise. That's it. So we're getting off. We're in Liverpool. Had a great time. Thank you, Ambition Ambassador. It was a good one.
And just like that, our cruise was officially over. As we walked along the dock, we passed the iconic Beatles statue and couldn't resist snapping a few photos. Since our train to London wasn't until 3:45, we made the most of our time with a sightseeing bus tour around Liverpool.
Hop on, hop off. That's what we're going to do here in Liverpool. Hop on, hop off. Who am I with? Hey! Hop on, hop off.
And wow, so much history and charm packed into one city. One of the highlights was seeing the Royal Albert Dock, where the TV show This Morning used to be filmed. We also stopped by the legendary Cavern Club, where the Beatles once rocked out. And there was a fantastic statue of the late great singer and all-round entertainer Cilla Black. At 3:45, we boarded our train from Lime Street to London, and yes, I totally fell asleep on the ride back. Cruise life caught up with me. The moment we stepped off the train, we were hit by the rush hour chaos of London. Peak time commuters zooming past us like we were in slow motion. A big contrast from the chill vibe of the ship. Back home now, and honestly, I think it's time to start planning our next cruise. Do you think you would enjoy an Ambassador cruise? Let me know in the comments.